All right. Hello, everybody. And welcome to our amazing women's retreats. We are on day 6 already. I have like a hard time believing it that we're here. It's been such an invigorating journey to journey through all these amazing topics that are so relevant to the feminine. Getting some really good comments that you guys are loving it and how like you're really taking it in. You're taking the time to not just tune in and listen into the information, but also make it really, pertinent for yourself, right? Like with the home plays and the exercises. Thank you so much for tuning in, participating, cheering up on each other as well. So just want to take a little moment to introduce myself quickly. Sometimes I'm like, I forgot to introduce myself because a lot of you came in here through other people or speakers, the community. So I want to welcome you here, first of all. It is a safe place. So make a space for yourself, like imagining that we are sitting in a circle. We are moving or dancing in a space together. So as much as possible, trying to create a space that feels that we can be authentic, we can drop in, and we can fully just relax and enjoy. My name is Marina Ijova, and I'm the creatrix of the Embodied Feminine, a place for female entrepreneurs to really grow, thrive, and really driven by this purpose personally. I've been really like in the personal development fields and the holistic, the yoga and wellness meditation fields for a while. And then the shamanic realms, the Toltec world as well, from the Four Agreements. And what really brought it all together for me is the sisterhood, is the powerful women that I'm connecting with, creating with. So I'm really excited to highlight and like bring some of these incredible sisters here with me this week. Because that's like the saying has been coming up this week, like you are the totality of 5 people you hang out with, you spend your time with. And these women are like truly incredible, beautiful sisters that made a profound impact in my life. And that's why like I really want you to meet them and go to the source. Go to the source. On a personal level, I am a mama of a 10-year-old beautiful little girl. I'm in a committed partnership. I am between Montreal and Lake Tahoe, so Lake Tahoe more now. That's where I live, and just enjoy the day. So I'm going to introduce you to our beautiful sister, Mel Sirois, who is I'm going to pop you on here. Welcome, Mel, with us today. You are a self-expression and embodiment coach. You absolutely love movement, and I love your authentic presence. Like every time I'm with you, you invite me to drop in deeper into what's present, what's authentic, what's alive here before movement. And I've been to your incredible spaces that you create for community, for women, for men, for the tribe to dance, to be, to shake, to just drop in, from dancing in the dark to the beautiful festivals that you are creating. So welcome here today. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marina. I'm really touched. When you mentioned, that we are the combination of the 5 people that we surround ourselves with, and that, you gathered these incredibly vibrant, powerful women who are definitely lighting up the world. I just felt so honored that I felt their presence, and I was like, ooh, like I have shivers just talking about it. So I want to first thank you for creating this whole week of events for women to connect with themselves, with each other. And so, yeah, thank you so much for all the hard work that you've been putting into building this, bringing it into the world. I really want to recognize you for that.
Oh, thank you. I read the saying, like, I think I was on my like shamanic transformational journey on a women's retreat somewhere in Sedona. And of course, like the vortex, the energy in Sedona, you like, sometimes you don't even know which level are you on? Are you still on planet Earth or somewhere else? So we've been doing a lot of like shamanic and transformational work. But then we're sitting in this room retreat center, and I see that there was a saying on the wall, and it said, 1,000 years of peace will come upon the earth when women can heal their hearts. And it was like a moment that like, I just bawled and bawled and bawled. And I kind of like, in retrospection, like now I know that that's part of like what inspired everything who I am today. But it was really that saying that, wow, we can actually bring so much peace into the world when women heal their hearts. Yes, committed to that, right?
That just rings so true. So true. Thank you. Well, you're definitely a part of that movement, right? Of helping women connect and listen and heal and come into the world fully alive, fully expressed.
Beautiful.
So, thank you for doing that. I would love to invite everybody to move before we start talking about how crazy I am about movement, how much I love it. So it would be great if we could play a song. My invitation to you is to shake. So any kind of vibration that you can bring to your body, we're going to stand up and move and really get in there, like move places where you don't normally think of, like armpits in between your toes, like anywhere, the back of your between your shoulder blades. Let's get up and let's move the energy.
Awesome.
Switch me on, turn me up. Don't wanna go let just get to lust. Switch me on, turn me up. I want to touch you, you're just made for love. Switch me on, turn me up. Oh, child, feels you're just made for love. Your days are wasting time. You'll be so mean. You love to watch. I love so I'll be the same. Don't hear like a heart. I'm gonna walk again.
Oh, so good. So good. So good. Yeah.
Oh, I feel great. Whew. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay standing now because I'm like, whew, that was so good.
So good. Oh, beautiful, 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 amazing. Oh, wow. So it just feels like night and day, being, of course, like before the movement and right now, the way I'm feeling. It's like, whoa, life is streaming through me. I'm really more present with you. I am here. I'm present with the women on the chat. And it's like, hello, hello, hello. Tune in, say hello. How does that movement feel in your body right now, right? Ooh. Wow. Mel, I'll pass it on to you. What
Thank you.
in that, 3 minutes shake?
Say it again. What's the question?
The question is, what happens when we open up movement and energy?
Right. Well, it's really that simple. It's the fact that when we sit, it's like the energy kind of trickles down and doesn't flow as freely and as abundantly. So it kind of settles, the soft settling. And it's interesting because it actually takes something to get it moving again. And I believe that's what's going on in a lot of people today is this, because we're not as active as we used to be, like pre-COVID, that it's taking a little bit more oomph to get us to get up and move. But once we do it, it's like, wow, it's that fountain, like just the energy keeps circulating. And so it's the best refresh button ever. I mean, it's better than coffee. Like, do a handstand and shake a little bit and you're good to go, And it doesn't cost like $7 for like a latte,
Right.
So, yeah.
Wow. You make it sound like so simple, and it is. It's just like get up and move, get up and, tap into that life force inside of us. And at the same time, like you're mentioning with like being more static now and stationary now, like almost like there's something that is not, it's not a natural impulse to just like roll out of your bed and then move. Like, why don't we just do that,
Well, I believe also that a lot of us have learned to do movement in a way that's very structured. Like, I get up and I do, my weights, I do my Zumba, I do my yoga, I do my, I go running, there's this practice, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to have structure, to see ourselves evolve, et cetera, et cetera. I think there's something about freeform movement that I'm getting more and more curious about because it's more in line with my rhythms. And especially as a woman, we have these rhythms that I didn't always, like I was a dancer, I was a professional dancer. So like it or not, if I'm on my moon or not, I have to perform, I have to do these movements. Whereas now I can still be in movement and listen and have that be a practice, be a meditation. And then all of a sudden, whoa, like I'll have energy, naturally, authentically come and take me. And then all of a sudden I'll, jump around and then it might calm down a bit. So yeah, discovering like that it's, I don't have to drag myself into like, oh, okay, now I have to do this thing again. It's like I can I can start from where I am at. I don't need to force myself to be somewhere else to start.
Yeah. Amazing. I was a yoga teacher. I've been a yoga teacher for over a decade. And of course, I know how much intelligence and wisdom there is in the body. Like I was always saying, like, I can tell more about somebody without the verbal conversation, without them giving me any information about them. I can just by watching their body move and how they move with their body, right? That tells me so much about someone. And, like energy being stuck or being open and energetically, like even like where do they bring their weight? Are their shoulders more closed or Are they too open? You know, you've got some of those guys that come in the classes and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So I was always fascinated and blessed that the body was really like my go-to place. And at the same time, it's still one of the greatest mysteries to me. You know, of course, like as life evolves, everything moves, I'm yet to continue this dialogue with my own body and be curious about it. Like, you know, why am I overwhelmed? You know, sometimes the energy can be like so in the head. Like, just to be transparent, this week's has been so busy for me. So I feel like with all the logistical, the technology aspects, I've been so in my head. And I'm like, I'm almost like I'm yearning to drop into my body, into my yoni, into my heart space. And it's like there was this almost like mental block where when the mind is trying to analyze what is best, what is going on, what to do next, it prevents us from tapping into this energy that's available all of a sudden, you know? So yesterday I actually pushed myself. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to a yoga class and just be and move. And it felt so good. It was so perfect to be here with you today. So let's talk about more about like how can like from being stuck mentally or like in our life sometimes, like when we are caught up with things and life itself, like busyness and no movement, and how like what's the progression there? Like I love what you're saying, like even doing it without music or something, but where does it start? And is there an end goal or an intention to go into as well?
But I believe that it all depends on the person's desire and intention in terms of like their movement practice, like what is it that they want to achieve or have on a regular basis. But for me, like what's really important to get me going towards that, whatever it is that I want to integrate into my life, is definitely moments of starting with listening where I'm at and allowing it to take me where it's going to go. And also play, lots of play. I need to love it. I need to love what I'm exploring, what I'm doing in my movement. I know for myself, like this whole shift in energy with COVID, like I didn't have my movement space. I didn't have my people that I trained with. I couldn't do acroyoga anymore. I trained with breakdancers. I couldn't go see them. And so my motivation just went, whoo, like, and I stopped moving and my fire just started going down. And it was such a huge lesson for me because I realized that that's what really lights me up and keeps my mind clear from all the, you know, when I start to kind of fold into myself, which is not good. What I discovered was play. I started playing with my environment. I was like, okay, so what can I do that is in movement but is fun? So I started with things like my medicine ball. And I started literally rolling around like rolling on it, pushing on it, foot on it, being like, woo. And then all of a sudden, 30 minutes just went by and I'm having a hoot and I'm sweating. So I think that's a way to start is like, how can I play?
Beautiful. Beautiful. What a great invitation. And I've been inviting this theme of like curiosity in as well. Like yesterday we talked about like voice and just like giving expression and voice, whether it's a hum or a song or something. So I find there was a similarity there with like expressing our voice. And there's a pause there where like, there's nothing is happening. There's nothing happening or a blockage somewhere that we can feel. And then just by bringing in, I love that you're bringing that in, like playfulness, fun, curiosity of like, what is this ball next to me? What is this chair that I'm sitting on? Right?
Yeah. And you can even start, like, I have a chair here. Here, let me grab my chair so you can see me. I mean, it can be really simple. Chop off my head here. It can be really simple, to just start like exploring what are the possibilities with your chair, just pressing weight, moving around, And I'm like, okay, let's, where am I going with this? Okay, playing around with your chair, stepping over it. I'm telling you, after a while, you're going to be underneath, on top. You're like, wow, but taking it up, and it becomes play, and it's great exercise. And it could be really small. Sometimes we don't want to go really big, and it's just about exploring, like, my spine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Making contact with the chair, pushing, my sits bones are pushing into the chair here, making all these movements possible. Yeah. So just these explorations.
Thank you. And I'm inviting our women also to test this out for themselves and be curious about it. When you bring such a simple thing as a chair, to me is like, it makes me feel about like, wow, I've never thought about that. I've never thought about playing with a chair in such way. And it makes me feel like, okay, now we're so stationary, like behind our computers with so much like online conferences and work that we do. It's like literally our hangouts, our birthdays, everything, it has gone online. So we're more stationary. And the more I just sit in my chair, the more I'm conditioning myself to stay stationary, right? So there's something about that where like I'm also like thinking about how does that impact my mindset, my emotions, my way of being. It's like I'm conditioning myself to do the same thing in the same way and getting the same results, obviously, and nothing new comes in. And then I wonder, I want life to change. I want to create changes in my life, positive ones, ideally. But if I don't change my way about things, as simple as a chair that I'm sitting on, how can I possibly change if I keep on doing the same and same and same?
There's two things in there that I'd love to speak to. One is where you said, I'm conditioning myself, and it's something I've been thinking about a lot. I have nothing to prove this, but my sense is that there's a vibration, when we're sedentary, and if we get comfortable in this vibration, then we always go back to our comfort zone. So it takes a little bit of discomfort to tolerate a little bit more energy, a little bit more energy, a little bit more energy. But at some point, this amount of energy becomes your comfort zone. So it does take something. I do believe it's a choice to practice movement, however you do, through yoga, through swimming, through biking, whatever. But that whatever lights you up, you have pleasure to do it. I also, this is the second thing I want to speak to, is that I really believe that when we develop new ways of moving, that it informs our life. It builds confidence. It builds, it creates clarity. We start to cope with our environment differently. If I feel like I can go walk on the ice and I know that I can just slide around, and if I fall, it's okay because I know how to fall.
Yeah.
It's a whole other way of coping with the environment than me being like, okay, it's a different choice. So I feel like more that we discover how to move differently, we have different choices, and that makes more possibility, creates more possibility. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's that intelligence in the body that I'm talking about, that it's like, it's almost like, we can bypass the mind sometimes. I'm all about these like little brain hacks that we can do to open up new ways and like surprise ourselves to actually like, wow, I didn't think I could do that, but I could, So when we go, beyond the body and make something possible, all of a sudden have a new experience, I truly believe that just like blows your mind to like, what else is possible? Like one of the things like we do it like at UPW, at Tony Robbins event, they walk on coals. And this is day one, right? Just the beginning. Day one, the first night, they make you walk on hot coals that they're cooking right in front of you. They're burning this fire all day. And then they're taking red coals and they lay out this whole little carpet for you to walk on. And the whole training is like, if your body's got to lock it in, that, you got to bypass your fear. And the fear is real. Like, it's there. And if we stay in that conditioned state, it just, we continue to do the same thing over and over and over. So it's such a powerful exercise to go beyond what we thought was possible. It's like, ooh, I didn't think it was possible for me to move today or to dance today. And all of a sudden it is. Okay. Kind of gives me the possibility of what else is now possible.
So true.
Tell me about, I want to pick your mind and heart about your journey, and why did life brought you into the direction of movement as your go-to?
Oh, that's a very good question. Where do I begin? I was someone, and I still work on this very much, my confidence. It's something I struggled with a lot. And movement, what it did for me is at some point I started dancing in the park. I moved back from New York. I didn't have that many friends, and I wanted to be outside, and I wanted to keep dancing. So I started to just train myself on my own in the park. But what started shifting is that I would listen to music that I loved, and that all of a sudden music that made me feel strong, music that made me feel, very romantic or sensual, or music that got me really hyper and just like, ah. So I started letting myself just move on impulse, improvising. And I believe that shifted a lot for me, because all of a sudden I could embody who I wanted to be in movement. So I might not show up, in life just yet as this confident, creative being, but by practicing tolerating the energy that wasn't comfortable, that wasn't my comfort zone, practicing and tolerating it, I started to embody it. And then it was a new layer to who I am and how I show up in the world. So that was a big part. I also am a certified movement analyst. So when I went and studied movement, and, as you said, like, we can see in people's bodies what's going on. There's a lot that's nonverbal, that's very apparent. Like, we communicate nonverbally all the time. But to put a whole language onto that for me was revolutionary, because, again, I was exploring these different possibilities, and how can I, this is really uncomfortable for me, so I'm going to practice so that becomes an option, a choice when I need it. So yeah, that's how it kind of all started coming together.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love music. Like, that's one of my things to go to when I need to, like, decompress or be inspired. Yeah. So it takes me on a journey that's like nonverbal, totally transformational. I found that, like, traveling throughout, like, different cultures as well, music and dance, it's one language that is just universal. No matter whether, you're in a country, you don't understand the language, but people understand movement, vibration, dance, expression, like, right? There's so much to the nonverbal there. Would you say, like, how would you say women can work with music? Do you go towards, like, something that makes you feel good, or the energy that it brings, or just allow yourself to explore with the different range?
Yeah, I believe that music is an excellent, what's the word? An excellent, like, it kind of creates a pathway of self-discovery. And so, yeah, trying on either a song that is like, I want to embody this kind of feeling, this sense in my body. So a song that would help you to connect with that and cultivate that in yourself. And also I do something where I find a song that connects to what I'm already feeling. So if I am angry and I need to move that energy, then like what kind of, drumming or something like that I can stomp and like really allow that energy to move, and so that I can liberate and become something else. Or if I'm really, I need some more care, or if I'm really joyful and I'm over myself, so I just put some really happy music and I just jump around. And both ways. I think music can take us someplace, and it can also support what we're already experiencing.
So awesome. So awesome. Yeah. It's like, it becomes like like our friend or someone that can just take us on that journey and walk us through that. I love that. I was fortunate to work for a little period of time with a sound engineer, and he worked for like movie productions and everything. And he said that like up to 70% of the impact of the movie scenes had to do more with the sounds. Like if it's a scary movie, it's the sound and the music that would create the environment more than so much the theme or like the visuals. So that kind of was really interesting to me. And I planted the seed of like, wow, how much can I then play with music and explore? Yeah.
It has a vibration as well, right? Like everything is vibratory, everything's energy, everything is in motion. And so, yeah, it definitely can come in effect. And if we allow it to, sometimes I say to my students, like, let the music, like embody the music, really allow it to go into your body as if all of a sudden you're wearing the music. And how does that affect how you move? So yes, definitely music influences a lot of how we feel and perceive.
Amazing. How do you feel about trying out that playful song that you sent me, like that?
The hand, yeah, sure. So I guess the invitation would be, so to the women, you mean we could invite everyone to participate, and you and I can do it too?
Yes.
Amazing. So yeah, so find anything. It could be your bed. It could be if you have a medicine ball, a chair, a desk. It could be the floor, the wall. I love moving on the wall, like giving my weight to the wall and just sliding around. So for like a minute or so, let's explore whatever piece of furniture you have at home. Let's give it a go.
Nice. All right, everybody, get ready to try this out. Okay, so. Can you hear my music? Can you hear the sound?
I do.
Okay, awesome. Mm. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, that was really, whew, that felt so good. I have actually played with the chair in a while, so that was really nice.
Oh my God. I stayed with the wall. That was so awesome. That was like all of a sudden I'm realizing I've got tension in my shoulders and back. And it kind of like sparked up this need all of a sudden. We're like, oh, I need to take care of my body. I need to get some body work done or yoga or some hot tub, like do something. So definitely points in the direction of what's needed for me.
Yes, yes. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. And I love that it sort of brought a new way of looking at movement where, discovering about yourself. And this is something that I've learned a lot in Fighting Monkey, which is a practice that I like to do. And it's all about functional movement, task-oriented movement. And what's so wonderful about it is that everything is created to gather information. So as you were exploring, and playing, then you're gathering information. You're like, oh, look at that. And that prevents injury. So it's like this developing our awareness and our ability to take in what's going on and then finding ways to take care of that, to our needs. And
so there is a difference there between functional movement and self-expression and motion, right?
Correct. Well, for me, I make the distinction. I'm just going to get my bouncy ball and then tell you all about that. This is a good way of being in front of the computer, by the way, because then you can just like bounce, maybe not during the interview, but I make the distinction because, well, it came from creating my events. Because I was like, well, what's the difference between the warm-ups that I guide that focus on the body? The focus is all on the body. And when people are just like dancing and having, fun, where they're not focusing on, oh, my shoulder's going to go here and then my knee's going to go there. And, that's not what we do. We just move from impulse. And so I started asking myself, like, what is the difference? And so, I came to see, like, okay, so functional movement is movement that caters to preventing injury, to warming up properly, to gathering information, to, being dynamically aligned, being able to do all the tricks that we want to do. That, for me, is all functional. And then the more energy in motion, expression in motion, is these places that we go when it comes from us, from our imagination, from impulses, from emotion. So to me, that's the difference.
Thank you. And I know you work with clients like one-on-one specifically. So what do you think that in your experience you've noticed that are the benefits of, tapping into understanding the functional, the free movement, expression?
Well, what I absolutely love doing, and my clients usually come to me for this, is a combination of both. There's this desire to be fully self-expressed, to be able to move without worrying, and also developing like movement vocabulary. I've had a lot of people want to develop their movement vocabulary and their confidence in moving, expressing themselves in motion. And the functional, as I said before, it really caters to preventing injury, from developing movement vocabulary, because we're exploring different ways of moving. Therefore, it informs the body, informs the mind, and then we show up in the world differently. So it kind of just all feeds itself in and out. And yeah.
Do you find that for women specifically, it plays with and impacts our self-confidence?
Yes, definitely. Because I find a lot of my clients, the women that come to see me, it's either their anger or their sexual energy or sensual energy that they struggle with tapping into. And, anger, because, well, most of us have been taught that it's not okay to be angry, and that is dangerous. And so the way that I explore it is that I look at it as energy. As long as the energy doesn't attack outside and doesn't attack inside, that it's just allowed to move and be expressed, it's definitely not dangerous and very powerful. And same with sexual energy. I mean, it's ours, right? It belongs to us. So to be able to cultivate it and to let it free and to express it in a safe space. So yes, definitely that touches upon confidence. Also, even simply expressing ourselves in any emotion, any state, physically, like non-verbally, it's a huge thing for a lot of people, because we're used to knowing ourselves from the mental body. I'm like this, I'm like that. But to get to know ourselves on a physical, energetic, like movement-based self, it's really, it's a whole other world. And definitely has a huge impact on confidence, on being grounded, really being embodied. Like, we're having this human experience, right? Like, what does it mean to really be in the body? Like, that's the question I live in all the time. What is that? What does it mean to fully embody what I experience, how I move, how I connect?
Yeah, that's such a big one. I think that word is going to be very, very powerful for the next few years. It's like that feminine energy we've been talking about for some time now, like maybe 8 or 5 years, like strongly. But the next word is embodiment. With everything that we know and all the information out there moving, what is it that I really live by, that lives through me, that is in my body, that, like, you can wake me up in the middle of the night and this is who I am. This is what's alive there. Absolutely.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, yeah. It's so big. And there's we're going to bring it to closure. So if anybody has a comment or a question for Mel, you can go ahead and take your time, type it out there. But there's a common thread that I'm seeing this whole week, because energetically, like, we're creating it, we're building it all together. So I'm seeing that how, like, with our self-worth, with our emotions, navigating our emotions, being who we are, there's still a piece of ourselves for women that we're almost like afraid to fully embody and be who we fully are. So even like when you're naming anger or our sexual energy, sensual energy, it's like, whoa, a lot of us, I know for me, for sure, like when I just started working with like sexual energy, let's say, it was like, whoa, that's so powerful. Like, I'm actually afraid to express that in like the ecstatic dance space somewhere, or like, I'm like, wow, there could be consequences for it, or it's going to like make people uncomfortable or this and that. So there's like a lot of these self-imposed fears, I would say, that are there for women, like that, that ceiling or the cap that goes like, again, like my intention for this retreat was because I grew up in a society where like we celebrated this International Women's Day, but it was all about women being nice, sweet, and pretty and beautiful. So it was like a Valentine's Day all over for women only. Just smile, keep yourself proper, right? And like stay cool, don't shake any trees. And then like, 30 some years later, I'm like, hello, and out so much more. And maybe that anger, maybe it's that sexual impulse that actually is leading me and guiding me to something so important and that's like needed in my body. So yeah, that's why like this whole week is also like a personal intention for me, was to really have these deep dive conversations with women on these daring topics, right? Like, who are we really? Like, we are the great mystery herself, but there's so many parts how we can access her and tap into her, whether it's through movement and dance and rolling around your couch and or expressing your voice or daring to speak your boundaries. And it's so inspiring and so beautiful. So
I love what you're saying about, you said, making someone else uncomfortable, like that fear of affecting, and that I feel that is the nugget, that's the thing that stops us from fully embodying our power. Because if every woman knew how powerful she is, this world would change like that, like instantly. It would just be so abrupt.
yeah.
But there's been such conditioning of like, don't rock the boat, don't be like this, don't be like that. And so, yeah, and I look at the women that I admire and they don't apologize for who they are. They don't. So I practice that. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to apologize for who I am either.
We high five each other. We fix each other's crowds. We ferociously dance together. Yeah, I love that. Love it. Mel, if there was one question that we can leave our women with for as a retreat, kind of like experience, or an experiential question that would just allow them to explore or play this weekend, explore their body or movement, what do you think one simple question could be that would give them, like, maybe one song or one exercise?
Well, as we said before, like music is so powerful and it's a great container, and it's also an accountability partner in some ways, because if we say, okay, I'm going to dance for a song, if you commit to that and the song will guide you there, it will not stop midway. It will keep going until we complete. So definitely having a song support the process. I think the question would be, what is dormant? What do you know is sleeping? And you want to go gently wake it up.
Mm-hmm.
And waking it up through movement. So whatever that means, like, how do you explore that? Allow your creativity to bring you there, your intuition. But it's really like finding a moment to tap into what is dormant.
What is dormant? I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Thank you for giving us the permission to go there, the space for that exploration. Awesome. Thank you so, so much. Is there anything you want to leave us with? Any like wrapping up thoughts? And
I just want to say thank you so much, Marina. Like, it's really incredible what you're creating. Just the opportunity to talk about, what lights us up as women, every woman that you have, and then giving permission to others who are listening to light their own fire. And so that for me is a huge gift. So thank you for asking me to be a part of this. I feel very honored. And if, I offer private classes, and I would love to assist any woman in finding what is dormant and cultivating and allowing that to come to the world, because I really believe that movement is the bridge between the inner and outer world. And so, yeah.
100%. Thank you so much. And I guess people can connect with you via Facebook. We left Mel's group, and you can find her on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. You're there. And thank you so much for being part of it today. And you brought and inspired in my life as well. It's like, I love going back to the source. I'm like, when I think about movement, when I think about dance, when I don't want to move, I think about you. So I'm grateful for you.
Oh,
Yay.
thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Marina.
All right. I'm going to ask you to pick a woman for yesterday. So we always put a home plate there for the day, and we pick the winner the next day. So I'll just go get the little price, and give me just a quick second.
Sure.
So the price for yesterday, what I was called to offer was this amazing carbon 60. I'm not going to talk about too much, but carbon 60 is a new molecule that has been discovered recently, and it's literally like the highest antioxidant, and carbon just eliminates and clears a lot of stuff out. It's like a magnet for all the negative stuff that doesn't belong in your body, like all the negative radicals and all that. Like, it just sucks it all out. So I was called to do that yesterday. So I'm going to be sending this pack, and you have enough for 30 days of amazing good stuff. This is revolutionary. Like, it's not even like totally on the market yet. Like, people don't even know about it, but this is awesome. We'll talk a little more about this on Monday. But why don't you go ahead and pick the winner who will get this amazing C60 buckyball?
I'm going to pick Tanya.
Tanya, drum roll. Thank you. Congratulations to Tanya. Thank you so much, Mel. And we'll make sure to place that question that you're leaving us with in the chat, so as a post as well. So I invite women to playful out this weekend. Take this time to really dive in, make it real, embody this conversation, information. Ultimately, what I've learned is like, what we take away from the conversation, that's what stays, and how we can bring that into our personal experience and make it like really personal for us, extract that into the goal that we need. That's what makes a huge difference. So thank you again, Mel.
You're welcome. Thank you, Marina.
All right. Bye, love. Bye. Oh, amazing. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, being present. And we are on day 6. I can't believe it. We're on day 6. So I'll recap this a little bit for you. I'm so like in the body right now. So happy. So you've got the workbook, and we're building the momentum. That's why like I'm really passionate about retreats, and I can't wait to do live retreats again, because they give us the experience. We get to really like build on something, from theme to expressing, exploring, being in a supportive environment. And I truly found that for myself, retreats made a huge difference, where like if I get to experience myself in my new version with all these different aspects, then I know it's real, and I can fully bring that out into my real life, into the world, because like I've already tested it out for a few days. It feels so good. So day 1, we went into self-worth and relationships. How does my self-worth and who I am and who I think I am affect all of my relationships, right? My business, my romantic relationships, dating life, my relationship with my kids, whoever. But I think it's that tone that we first set for ourselves that then sets the tone for everyone else. So I was fortunate to be there with Nicole Jones, the author of Master of Single. awesome. Day 2, we went into embracing our polarities with Geneviève Young. It's been so good. She took us throughout the model of emotions, the emotional scale, and how we can navigate these emotions and create frequencies for ourselves, and also invite other people and other situations into the frequency that we want to vibrate at. It was so juicy. So that one is out there as well. Day 3, we went into how to shine bright in the busy world. And it boiled down to really your values and standing into your personal shine instead of, going out and trying to please everybody else. But it's really dropping into your values and who you are. That's going to make you attractive and lovable and shiny in the world. That was great. All these videos, by the way, are going to stay up here for a few more days, probably till Tuesday. So we're going to do like a little blitz of videos this whole weekend. So go ahead and watch them. Great content, great stuff. Day 4, on Thursday, we went into the conversation of building your empire with amazing Lindsay Ciprani. She's got an amazing real estate agency and Ciprani Consulting that she's built and multiple streams of income. So she's really the queen of leverage. There's a lot to learn from her. I could have spent like a few more hours with Lindsay. So that was an amazing conversation. Day 5, yesterday, we went into remembering our song, tapping into our sound, vibration, and allowing that expression, especially for women, to tap into the womb and the throat spaces. So Sarah Surrenders was awesome yesterday. And today was Movement is Life with Mel Sirois. So grateful, so grateful. I feel so like embodied, ready to take on the day, and so excited. Tomorrow there's another bonus day, another one of my dear mentors and sisters who taught me about the feminine cycles. Now, I definitely teach the feminine cycles now, and I make them part of one of the modules in our courses because it is so crucial. It made a huge difference in my life, understanding that I'm actually cyclical. I'm not linear in nature. I can flow. I've got my lows. I've got my highs. And it's okay. And, using those cycles, using those phases to really nurture myself and see what's needed. Maybe get into creative zones, maybe get into rest zones. So again, I love going back to the source where I learned it from. And Claire Doe has been an incredible sister and mentor for years and years and years, like over 8 years now. She's been so good. So I'm taking you back to the source of the cycles of the feminine tomorrow. Tune in. So that's going to be really, really awesome and cool. And then we're going to have a few bonus days on Monday and Tuesday as well. Monday, I'm going to bring it back into integration. How do we really integrate now all of this stuff and really make it personal for yourself, understand how everything works. It's like the little puzzle that we then get to put together. And again, we're going to focus a lot more on the takeaways. And then on Tuesday, I have a surprise guest for you, who's my beloved partner, Greg Rex. A lot of you have met him already. And I didn't want to leave out the masculine perspective out of this conversation. We're talking a lot about the feminine energy and how amazing and brilliant and creative and powerful it is. But, there is the yin and yang component to life. Everything's got the polarity. And I absolutely, Spirit was like, you gotta bring in the masculine. So I'm bringing an incredible conscious man to sit with you all and talk about the masculine space, the masculine energy in our life. Whether we're women or men, we have both perspectives, masculine and feminine. And it's nice to be in the feminine energy and, be creative and cultivate all these ideas and desires and passion and fire, but also then use the masculine energy to really put them and apply them into a form, right? Make it actionable, make it real. So Greg will speak a lot more about that on Tuesday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And also, I, of course, want to talk a little more about the program that I'm offering is, again, when we go into these retreat spaces, and I've gone to trainings with like Tony Robbins, other retreats that were like amazing, 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 and you're up there for like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, or a whole week long, and you're like, whoa, you experience yourself as like this powerful creatrix of your life. And then it's like the hot tub effect. You know, you're in the hot tub and these are my people. This is so amazing. I am capable. I can do this. They're loving it. And then you get out of the hot tub, you go back home and you're back to your laptop and your desk and there's nothing happening. It's like, what? It's like the balloon that gets kind of deflated. That was my personal experience. And it's like that hot tub effect where we're so comfortable and we're like, yeah, these are my people. This is my environment. This is exactly it. And where is that other environment? So I found that creating these spaces and environments is like, that's key. So I'll be doing a disservice to someone if I was just offering a workshop or a class to make you feel good. And there was nothing else to sustain that transformation afterwards. So again, Spirit like offered this whole like longer container this time for a whole year of apprenticeship with me and our tribe, and it's called the Medicine Wheel. So I love the Native American traditions, of course. That's my go-to. And on the Medicine Wheel, there is place for everything. So I'll just show it to you briefly here. The Medicine Wheel is here. So there's a place for all of that. There's a place of the East, where we start, and the East is like new energy, new ideas. It's kind of like springy energy. That's what's happening now. It's like snow is melting. We're planting new seeds. So it's really about clarifying your vision and who you are becoming. It's starting a new cycle for your life and planting these seeds intentionally, right? Life by design. Like everything that I have in my life, some people are like, oh, Marina, you're so like happy-go-lucky. No, nothing happened by fluke in my life. Everything is completely like life by design. I created every aspect of it, starting from like my relationship, being a parent, the business that I have, the sisterhood, the community is like everything was so intentional. And that's what I would love to transpire and also like hold space and create for women. And then we're going to the North. So North is the mind, where we talk a lot about the mind, the mindset, right? We can only go as far as our mind can allow us to go to. So there's a lot about intuition, about listening, trusting yourself, cultivating that deeper relationship, and also dealing with your mindset. So that's why the longer container is there, because you're not just showing up on the good days, on the days where you feel like it, but you show up consistently for yourself, for your projects, for your businesses, for your relationships. And that's what makes a big difference. Then we go to the West. And in the West, it's all about, first of all, it's the element of the body. So everything that's material, that's physical, it can be our work in our life. It can be the way we treat our body. We talked about body today. So it's how am I with my physical body, with my sexuality, with my material environments, maybe the house you live in, the spaces you are in, and also your work in life. Like, you know, are you enjoying that? Are you loving it? Does it bring you joy? It's also the direction where we do a lot of healing and a lot of shedding, a lot of letting go and cleaning up. I've noticed that a lot of times it wasn't so much about bringing in something new into my life, but it was about cleaning up the old stuff. It's like 80% of stuff is actually like, it's like that David and Michelangelo that we've been talking about this week. You know, your David is already there. Your creation is already there. And what just can happen is like, let's chip away what is not of you or what is not of your highest. So we do a lot of that work in the West where we chip away and the letting go and the healing aspects. And then we go to the south. And the south is beautiful because it's one of my favorite places to be, of course. It's all about ceremonies and bringing rituals and making your life sacred. So we'll be going through a lot of rituals, what you can do for yourself, and then maybe teach that in your inner circles as well, with water, with fire, with the elements, and also with the sacred dates, the celestial events, and everything. And it's also a place that is of the South, so it speaks to our inner child. And when I say inner child, it's something that, like, to me, it's always like it's that original dream, the original song that you came here with, and you truly believed in yourself. Where, like, we're innocent, we are inspired. It's always a yes, I want to do it. Yes, I want to. Like, there's nothing stops us. So it's a really fun direction for me to be in, and remember who we really are at that core is that inner child in a little girl in us that wants to dance and play and connect. So that's the place. So that's the journey. The invitation is into the medicine wheel journey. So it's a full year invitation. You can join in for just 3 months. I do want to offer like a 90-day container as well in there. I don't know if Sarah is on the chat, but if you could pop in the link for the program that can explain everything to people who want to like read and go into the details and see it all. We try to include a lot of good stuff in there. You have the actual live course where we get to meet once a week. On the live, we get to, work with a specific theme every week and grow into that theme. The environment is amazing because we are supporting each other. We're live. We're asking questions, comments. There's a lot of energy that it comes from the group. Amazing relationships are being formed in there. There's accountability, so when you commit to something, there's also the group accountability and personal accountability. There is also, what else is included in there is a monthly ceremonies and activations, like the new moon or the full moon. We're going to have the spring equinox now that's coming next week already. So we're using the celestial events of how you can also like use the energy that's available to us to transform, transmute. So these are all included. What else? Oh my God, there's so much here. We packed it all up for you. There is an embodied feminine online course and the workbook that comes with it that you can do on your own. And it's really beautiful. You have home plays. You can really like use all that information. And Laura was talking about it yesterday and she was like, oh my God, I'm still using it today. And I still use some of those home plays till today because like these are really my go-to tools. And it's really built from the masculine and the feminine perspectives, both. Then you have a special time management workshop, how to carve out time for yourself, your work, and not get overwhelmed. There's our private community of sisterhood as well. And of course, there's private sessions and support with me. So you can check it out. Oh, thank you, Sarah, so much. She popped it in the chat right there. Thank you. Love you so much. And I've got a beautiful, beautiful soul, beautiful sister who is joining me today to talk about her experience with the program and working with me. Hi, Lucy. Hello, hello. Yeah, we can hear you. Your sound is on. You've got some good Palo Santo going. I don't know what you got going there.
Well, everything. I have the candle. I'm really grateful to up on again. Thank you, Marina. Is there something in particular, or that I should, or just my experience in general, or?
I just want to put you on the seat and let you express, like, what were you thinking probably coming into the course, before the course, and what changed for you afterwards? What was like one of the pivotal shifts for yourself?
Okay, so in my case, when I saw the first 5 days that were offered every noon, we were meeting, and that was free. And for me, that changed a lot. And it also, I was deeply in depression at that moment. I had a very toxic relationship that's with a narcissistic person that really, I don't know how, like decrease, I guess, my confidence in myself, and all my very ambitious usual self was gone.
Yeah.
And so that moment was already like, oh my God, okay, it feels good to be back on, putting my life on paper. And even though I knew so many of the tools that you shared with us, to realize how they were powerful, but they're even more when it's hard, when it's, that's actually the moment where we're supposed to do it. And that's when it's going to be that powerful. And and then Mel Sirois jumped in and she said how she had financial problem when she started the training. And for me, it was like, after the 5 days, I was like, yeah, well, actually, it's not for me. I had my share of financial problem, and it was not even a possibility to do it,
Yeah.
But then you said you should say yes to yourself, and I was like, there's a part of me, the rational part, the left part was like, Lucy, it's not serious, you can't do this. And the other part of me was like, yeah, but these 5 days have helped me so much in that really dark moment that I was going through. So like, I'll make it work. And I know that I also know deeply that whenever you take responsibility for yourself and you decide to do things, it's unlocking, So, and Marina kept telling me that, and she was right. And so, as I told Marina so many times, she literally pulled me out of depression and got me back on track with just knowing that I have, we were all, it's funny because when you were saying before you put me on here, at the moment where you were saying we have the accountability sisters, at the exact moment I was thinking about what, I would be sharing. And it was exactly, I was thinking of Valérie and that system at the moment, like 2 seconds after you said, oh, we also had the accountability sisters. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's crazy how just being with a few women that are, especially that the age difference is always, there's women of every age, I guess, and to learn from each woman, like it wasn't just it's what you created, but it's also how you hold it space. And I guess the team that you create together are perfect. I've learned from Anne-Laure so much, from Val, from all of them, surely. Like it was absolutely and every time one of the women was saying, because there's moments, and I know I'm not the only woman who in our group that this happened, but there's moments where we had low moments, in that 90 days container. I had moments where I came back into depression, and I was still doing the training, and then it was actually, I was putting pressure on myself about like, I'm not doing it, or I'm not, or I'm not being, and then that moment where I was so hard on myself was the moment where Greg came in with you, and you all told us how the when and the how, and it's the why, it's coming back to what is important to you, and that it really, and how we can put percentage and number on things, but that's, you have to let go of the pressure that, like, this have been so, it tools that every day I think about, and that every day are making me being more self-compassionate about myself and really less hard. Like my negative self-talk have again decreased, I guess, from at least 50% since before the container and now. So that's also like and yeah, I mean, there's moments where I didn't really do my homework, and I came in and I let other women talk because I was like, what to say, I don't know. I was so sad that I didn't have plan. I didn't write any plan because and then they would say things, and then ideas would come in my head that was not what they had in mind, but that came in because one of the women in my group said so, and and I said something that looks, so it's just yeah, I will always be grateful, and it was way more an investment than, well, it is an investment and nothing else, pretty much. So yeah, what I don't know what else to say except that I'm really grateful. And thank you.
I'm so grateful for you, and you're naming all these big aspects for yourself, like what you got out of it. And I'm like, I also want to say that you're the one that did the work, right? Like, of course, like, and now that you trust yourself that you did it, you can do it again and again and again and again and again. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
And I always see people as like, if they're able to dream it, they're able to achieve it. So if you see that state for yourself and the vision for yourself, I hold that vision. Like, to me, it's already done. It's already done. Like, I have no reverence for before. I have compassion, empathy, but I'm like, I already see everybody on that summit, whatever you guys envision for yourselves. I'm like, I've done it multiple times. So if I can do it, you can do it. And we can do it again and again and again. And it's so awesome to see everyone growing and moving on to like different levels now. Beautiful.
I also want to mention that for my private session that I had with you, I remember, I don't exactly remember, but I think we changed the moment where it was supposed to happen, because I was so low in depression at that moment that you just said, you know what, let's do it at that moment, or at least you took more time, way more time with me, which, in that session one-on-one, because of the state where I was pretty much crying the whole time. And Marina, like, there's so many people who've been trying to tell me that I deserve better, that this, that, and it's all good, but you were the only person who said that one thing that made me be like, you know what? Yeah, like, just it's like if every single words that have been spoken in that training have been exactly at the right timing, at the right, like, that's really incredible. Like, you will get only what you don't even know you wish to know. You're gonna learn it there.
Wow. Thank you for speaking about that. And I truly, like, I'm also just calling in people that are resonating with it. If there was like a yes, if there was something for you, that it's like, yeah, it's the right timing, it's the right community, it's the right, you are at the right place. I always say it's got to be the right you, the right timing as well, and the right space and environment in our lives. So if there is a small yes, it's like, let's hop on the journey. It's already begun. We already have a beautiful tribe of women, and we're going to just keep on going with this medicine wheel. Thank you so much, Lucy, for also like speaking into the self-empowering aspect. That's huge for me, because like, I'm not, a coach or mentor that creates like followers or wants people to be like enabling something. I'm like, I truly, like, when you say I am so much better right now, I can do this on my own, it lights me up so much. Like, this is like, yay, you got there, like, yeah, that's second. Like, it's that self-empowering piece that is so important to me, like creating leaders. And that's how I see the women that are coming in as like really powerful leaders in the world. And there's so much work to be done in the world. Lucy, one more little question for you. Like, you were speaking about the financial piece, and I think that is, a conversation for some people. How, when you came in, like, finances, it was a real deal for you. So can you speak a little more about someone who is like, I'm not sure if I want to invest it in something right now,
Well, in my case, like, I had debt I still have debt that I actually first, without one of my sisters in the group, I would still be calling it debt, but I'm not calling it debt anymore. I'm calling it investment, because everything, whether it was my training of yoga or my travels, everything that I've been through have made me who I am today and have brought me there. So to change the vocabulary of the money talk, actually, like, I wouldn't have learned all this without this training. And it's funny, there's actually something new, Marina, that compared to the last time that I came in to talk, one of my vision that in my one-on-one session with Marina, I was visualizing that I wanted to really be somewhere else in 6 months, if possible, to live from my yoga. And to maybe I was saying, and I was imagining myself by the water teaching yoga, and it felt so true. And now my school had to close doors, so I actually lost yoga. So I was like, it's not working, why? COVID, and turns out that the school closed, but now I have like I've never taught that much yoga in private, which I'm making so much more money than being at the school. So the school will reopen one day and it'll be fine and I'll be super happy. But for now, I'm making more private yoga where I'm paid more. And I just, it's not even 6 months later and it's already happening. So what is it going to be for the summer? And so I'm like, and that really shifted a few, you know, you also taught me to let go of the when, and that was very important for me too, like being more patient. And the money just came, it just keep coming, you know. And you also made me realize that I've never missed anything in my life in the end. I am part of the people that, you know, I'll kind of always make it work, and universe have been on my side. And even though I'm stressing about money so much and often, this is way less than before, because now I just trust that it's going to keep coming, and it keeps coming even more than before since that training. So like, and really I'm really less stressing about finances now, which was the biggest stress before. So
Oh,
yeah, so it's
good. Congratulations for making that happen. Yeah, when we let go of the how or the when, it's really, really powerful, because it just, you know, it happens on the terms of, you know, spirit, universe. But when we stay committed to that vision and we don't give up on our own selves, like that's the piece, is like, just stay committed. And, you know, things happen sometimes quicker than we expected it, or in a different way, the different format. That's why I always say, like, let's stay open, like focused on the vision, on who you are, what you're bringing in, you know, and that's all. Like, let go of the how and the when, and
this lesson for me, that was one of the biggest. But I mean, I was looking at my sheets before my home play before calling you to be like, so what will I mention? And then I'm like, oh, this, oh no, wait, this, oh, this, well, that was a big change. Oh, this one, you know, like, it's crazy. So yeah, so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you so much for hopping on with me today and sharing your transformation. You know, I can say it in my own words, but nothing expresses it better than like someone else's experience of like just being authentically you and speaking for yourself. So that, you know,
I mean, it's a complete different Lucy that you met. I mean, except that you were seeing the light before, but back then I was so deeply down in you know, the victim archetype, and I don't have this, and in contraction, and now like it's flowing. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If anybody is interested and wants to have just a conversation and you're called, but you're like, I'm not sure how to make it or what is it going to bring me, just reach out to me. I'm super available, and just let's have a chat and let's see what's available. If it's a, you know, it's got to be a win-win for all. So Lucy, thank you so much. And we thank Mel so much for being with us as well. Let's continue to finish strong. So let's tune into this amazing, powerful conversation tomorrow as well with Claire Doe, and same time, same place. So 1 p.m. over here on live. Thank you all so much. Enjoy your beautiful Saturday. We love you, and stay blessed. Shine bright. Bye.